Welcome to Times of MGM. My name is Kavya Gautam from class 10. Today's news headlines are as follows. First of all, some international news. Melbourne extend COVID-19 lockdown, no jab, no job in Sydney. Nationwide train strike disrupt travel across Germany. Let's move on to some national news. Indian Space Research Organization gearing up for GISAT-1 launch on Thursday. Indian Air Force builds world's highest mobile air traffic control towers in eastern Ladakh. Now let's take a look on some state news. Chhattisgarh Sable Badhiya echoes in America, Chicago. Now, some sports news. Messi joins Paris Saint-Germain with Barcelona legacy intact. Lord's Test. Bumrah has got amazing skills for all three formats, says Bairstow. Scuba divers celebrate India's Olympic heroes by holding national flag underwater. ICC to push for cricket's inclusion in 2028 Los Angeles Olympic. CBSE has released the Class 12 board exam result on July 30 and Class 10 board exam result on August 3, 2021. Those candidates who are not satisfied with their marks can appear for the physical exam to be conducted by the board. Improvement and compartment exam for class 10 and 12 have been scheduled from 25th August 2021. That is all for today's news. Stay tuned for further updates. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Pal Dubey of Class 12 Bio PE. Today, I'm going to speak about International Youth Day. International Youth Day is an awareness day designated by the United Nations. The purpose of day is to draw attention to a given set of culture and legal issues surrounding youth. The first International Youth Day was observed on 12th August 2000. What is youth? Youth means finding your true self, struggling and learning for your future life, trying new things and doing things you want to do as long as you can. But youth also means to me learning that not everything is so good and positive. This day is dedicated to the role young women and men play in bringing change in tackling global issues and achieving sustainable development. It also serves as an opportunity to raise awareness of challenges and problems facing the world's youth. It is a celebration of youth, power, and unity. How we as young people can impact the world if we put our minds to it. If we look to remind ourselves to keep moving forward, it is imperative that the youth of today see the benchmark of the fallen soldiers that had too little materially but great willpower and passion to fight. While our fight for the realism of economic freedom and education is different to our preceders, we must remain conscious of the vision and pave the way for those who come behind us so that they fight a different battle to ours in a free, fair democracy. At last, but not the least, I want to say that raise your head high and leave all the fear of mind behind. Never step back when the storm comes. Instead, face it with full courage. Keep yourself always, then nothing seems impossible. Think beyond your ability, dream beyond your imagination. Feel your soul focused on your goals. Enjoy the life by making your dreams true and be happy in your life. Thank you and have a nice day.
Hello everyone and welcome back to lecture series on artificial intelligence. As you all know that this will be the lecture number 5 of this series and I hope all of you are doing good, fit and fine. Yes? Okay. So let's just start our today's session. Okay. So let's just have a quick recap of what we have already learned in our previous session. Um, In our previous session, we have discussed introduction to machine learning, where we have already discussed what is machine learning, how we make machine learning models, yes, and then we have also discussed need for machine learning. Here we discuss different factors which are responsible for increase in need for machine learning, why machine learning is needed. Yes. So these all topics we have discussed in our previous session. So now let's move to our next slide, which is what are we going to learn today? So we will continue to dig deep into machine learning, and today, with the help of AI project cycle, we will learn about machine learning process, or how can we build machine learning project or model. Okay, and we will discuss it in detail. So AI project cycle has mainly 5 steps, and since we are discussing it in detail, we will try to have a brief study of first 2 stages or first 2 steps of machine learning or AI project cycle today. Okay, that is problem scoping and data acquisition. So now let us just have an overview of AI project cycle. So there are mainly 5 steps or 5 stages of AI project cycle. The first one is project scoping, and next is data acquisition. So these two project cycle stages we will discuss in briefly today. And third one is data exploration. Fourth is modeling, and fifth one is evaluation. These three we will try to discuss in our next session. But today we will mainly focus on project scoping and data acquisition. Okay. But before that, I want you to see a video that how with the help of AI we can find or search for solutions to some problems. And that is how eventually we build AI or machine learning projects, that is to solve problems. Okay, so go on with this video.
Right now, there is a poaching epidemic that is hitting Africa.
It's estimated that we're losing an elephant every 15 minutes. But at that rate, we'll be losing 35,000 a year, and elephants could go extinct in the Congo Basin within 10 years. The poaching pressure is that great. Time's running out. The Serengeti is the world's most famous national park. It's also one of the largest parks in Africa. There are only 150 rangers to protect an area. Imagine the size of the state of Maryland. For 2 years now, we've been partnering with the Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation on TrailGuard, and now Intel and Resolve have joined together to try and save the wildlife of Africa, and doing it by introducing TrailGuard AI, a revolutionary new technology that can stop poachers before they kill. TrailGuard is a low-cost, easy-to-use, simple and durable, efficient camera system. Researchers, conservationists put out camera traps all the time, and about 75% of the images that are recorded have nothing in them. Sometimes it's the change of cloud cover that sets off the camera, and you end up with thousands of images that have absolutely no value at all. Now, TrailGuard AI removes all those blank images and only sends on to headquarters those that have people in them, and it draws a bounding box around it, and amazingly sends a text file that tells you the percent accuracy of whether or not that's a human being.
When Resolve approached Intel, it definitely felt like a great fit for them to use the Intel Movidius visual processing unit. Intel has brought both its hardware expertise and its software expertise, so we helped integrate the Intel Movidius VPU into the TrailGuard AI so that they could do inference on the edge, making certain that there were poachers in a frame versus just some noise. One of the biggest benefits of the TrailGuard AI is its size. Because it is so small, it's easy to hide, which makes it harder for the poachers to find. It also preserves the battery life, so we can leave it out in the field for a year, year and a half.
They're not just engineers now, they're engineer conservationists.
We are at Big Sur, and today we have been doing a field test of the TrailGuard AI, showing its capabilities and demonstrating it to the world.
Big Sur is the definition of wildness in California. A lot of the conditions here are very similar to elsewhere in the world. It's rugged, it's remote, and difficult to have any kind of connection with, say, cell connectivity. In the Serengeti, the trail guards become rangers that are there 24/7 monitoring those trails.
It's really interesting to see the types of solutions that companies like Resolve are coming up with to improve the world.
It's really a critical time to bring technology to the forefront in a way that it hasn't been before.
Okay, so I hope you liked the video. Now let's just talk about the video. What was the problem they were facing, and what was the problem for which they were trying to find a solution? Yes, actually the problem was poaching of animals. Yes, poaching of animals to extent that they stated this problem as a poaching epidemic in Africa. Okay, यहाँ तक ये प्रॉब्लम बढ़ गया है कि यार that they are stating it as an epidemic. Okay, and according to their findouts, or according to their data, they are losing an elephant every 15 minutes. In every 15 minutes, हर 15 मिनट में एक एनिमल का वहां पे पोचिंग की वजह से डेथ हो जाता है. ठीक है. So this was all about the Serengeti National Park in Africa. Okay, and how they tried to solve this problem. इस problem का solution उन्होंने कैसे खोजा? With the help of artificial intelligence. Okay, they built TrailGuard AI system. TrailGuard AI system, where IBM with the help of Rizal built this AI system. Okay, they figured out that they cannot help forest rangers or park rangers. उनकी उनकी जो uh, तादाद थी वो सिर्फ 150 है. ओके, इतने बड़े एरिया में सेरेंगेटी, विच इज वन ऑफ द लार्जेस्ट नेशनल पार्क्स नॉट जस्ट इन अफ्रीका बट इन द होल वर्ल्ड, इतने बड़े एरिया को सिर्फ 150 पार्क रेंजर्स के थ्रू मॉनिटर करना एक एक बहुत बड़ा टास्क है, और इट इज क्लोज टू इम्पॉसिबल. यस, and the scientists, or you can say IBM and sorry, Intel and Crizal, they used artificial intelligence to build TrailGuard AI system that will actually help the park rangers. Park rangers का help करेगा and उनके जो work को amplify करेगा, uh, that can be used for monitoring that vast area, a large area of Serengeti National Park. Okay, so इसका outcome क्या निकलेगा? If this TrailGuard AI system is executed, और ये अच्छी तरीके से अगर इसका यूज हो जाता है, तो आउटकम क्या निकलेगा? According to them, if they are able to reduce poaching even by 10%, अगर सिर्फ 10% से वो पोचिंग को reduce कर देते हैं in Serengeti, they could save more than 25,000 animals in a year. कितनी बड़ी संख्या है ना? This is a very big solution to this problem. Yes, and AI is helping in that. AI इनकी मदद करता है. ठीक है. So now let us come back to our topic. So problem scoping, we are going to discuss problem scoping, and this is the first stage of AI project cycle. Okay, this is known as the first stage of AI project cycle and one of the most important one too. Yes, यहाँ पे हम क्या करते हैं? In problem scoping stage, we try to define the problem. Okay, what exactly is the problem and who is affected by it, वो हम इस स्टेज में करते हैं. ठीक है, सबसे पहली बात हम प्रॉब्लम खोजते हैं. ठीक है, कि प्रॉब्लम है क्या, what is the problem for which we have to find a solution. Okay, what exactly is the problem and who are the persons or stakeholders who are affected by this problem. Okay, और उसको खोजने के लिए सपोज यू आर एन एआई स्किलफुल इंजीनियर, आपने एआई अच्छी तरीके से skillfully सीख लिया है and you are capable to build AI models. What you require first thing is problem. Yes, आपको problem की जरूरत पड़ेगी. And we are fortunate that problems are everywhere. Okay, okay. Problems are everywhere, and most common ones are generally of sustainable development goals. Okay, अब ये sustainable development goals क्या है? There are actually 17 goals which are notified by United Nations. Okay, UN के द्वारा ये सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स नोटिफाई किया गया है 2015 में. And this is provided to every country so that they can figure out the problems under this 17 goals. Okay, let us see which all are the 17 goals of SDG or Sustainable Development Goals. Okay, here you can see there are 17 goals. First one is no poverty, second one is zero hunger, then good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industrial innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice, and strong institutions. 17th one is partnerships for the goals. Okay, so these are the 17 goals notified by United Nation, और इन्हीं से हमको पता चलता है कि what problems we are facing. Okay, if we go back to that example where of the video where they were trying to find a solution to prevent poaching of animals, that comes under number 15, life on land. Okay, ठीक है. सो एसडीजी गोल्स के हिसाब से 15 नंबर का जो गोल है लाइफ ऑन लैंड, वी हैव टू प्रोटेक्ट और कंजर्व एवरी लाइफ ऑन लैंड. इसके तहत ही उन लोगों ने उस प्रॉब्लम को आइडेंटिफाई किया दैट दे हैव टू प्रिवेंट पोचिंग ऑफ एनिमल्स. ओके, सो if we try to find a solution regarding any problem which comes under SDG, as in the video, people were trying to find a solution related to SDG number 15, which is life on land. Okay, ठीक है? Okay, now let's come back to our stage, which is problem scoping. So this is the first stage, and now when we know when we are trying to figure out what the problem is, we have to first see what are the four W's. Okay, there are four W's. If we figure out what these four W's are, we can eventually find out what is the problem that we have to find solution for it, for which we have to find a solution. Okay, so there are four W's that we have to find out. The first one is who, second is what, third is where, and the fourth one is why. The first one is who. So who helps in understanding in who is directly or indirectly अफेक्टेड बाय द प्रॉब्लम, प्रॉब्लम से कौन है जिसे सबसे ज्यादा अफेक्ट हो रहा है, ओके, एंड हु स्टैंड्स टू बेनिफिट द मोस्ट फ्रॉम द पोटेंशियल सॉल्यूशन, और किसको सबसे ज्यादा बेनिफिट होगा अगर हम इस प्रॉब्लम का सॉल्यूशन पा लेते हैं. सो हियर वी ट्राई टू फिगर आउट हु आर द स्टेक होल्डर्स and what do you know about them. Okay, now again take that example of the video where they were finding where they were finding the solution to prevent the poaching of animals. यहाँ पे stakeholders कौन कौन है? Who are the stakeholders? Here the stakeholders are the national park animals and the park rangers and the national park department, okay, who are trying to prevent or safeguard those animals. So ये सारे क्या है यहाँ के stakeholders है, ये सबसे ज्यादा अफेक्ट हो रहे हैं इस प्रॉब्लम की वजह से. Yes, the animals, the park rangers, the department of the national park who are trying to save animals, ये सारे लोग क्या हो रहे हैं, इससे बहुत ज्यादा अफेक्ट हो रहे हैं. एंड व्हाट डू यू नो अबाउट देम, आप उनके बारे में क्या जानते हैं? ठीक है, ये सारी चीजें हम फर्स्ट डब्ल्यू में पता करते हैं. वी ट्राई टू फिगर आउट व्हाट all about who is the stakeholders, who are the stakeholders who are most affected by this. Yes. Now the second one is, second W is what? Now the second W, which is what, it helps us to understand what is the nature of the problem and how do we know that this is a problem. पहली बात तो ये कि प्रॉब्लम का नेचर क्या है, प्रॉब्लम कैसा है, प्रॉब्लम हमें कैसे पता चल रहा है कि यही प्रॉब्लम है. ये सारी चीजें हम सेकंड डब्ल्यू में पता करते हैं. दिस ऑल थिंग्स वी ट्राई टू फिगर आउट इन दिस सेकंड डब्ल्यू, विच इज व्हाट. देन देयर इज द थर्ड डब्ल्यू, विच इज वेयर. ओके, where helps us to focus on the context or situation or the location of the problem. Okay, here location, we try to figure out, or we try to find out the location where it is occurring the most. Okay, अब सेम एग्जांपल अगर लें, हम पता करते हैं कि पोचिंग कहाँ हो रहा था, तो पोचिंग हो रहा है सेरेनगेटी नेशनल पार्क में. ओके, where does the problem arise, what is the context or situation in which the stakeholder experience the problem, ये सारी चीजें हम पता करते हैं. We try to find out in the third W, which is where. Okay. Okay, now the last W, which is one of the most important one too. Okay, it is really important as it helps us to understand the benefits where the stakeholders would get from the solution and how will it benefit them as well as the society. Okay, why do you believe it is a problem worth solving? हम why यानी कि जो फोर्थ W है why, उससे पता करते हैं कि इस प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करना वर्थ है कि नहीं. ठीक है, इससे कुछ फायदा पहुंचेगा कि नहीं स्टेक होल्डर्स को, और साथ ही साथ वी ऑल्सो ट्राई टू नो दैट इट विल हेल्प द सोसाइटी एज वेल एज और नॉट. ओके, एंड what would be of key value to stakeholders, stakeholders के लिए इस सॉल्यूशन, इस प्रॉब्लम के सॉल्यूशन को निकालने से क्या बेनिफिट होगा, how would it improve their situation. जितने सारे स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं, अगर सेम एग्जांपल को लें तो एनिमल्स ऑफ द नेशनल पार्क, पार्क रेंजर्स, द डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ नेशनल पार्क, उन सारे लोगों को इस प्रॉब्लम के सॉल्यूशन से कैसे मदद मिलेगा, कैसे बेनिफिट होगा, ये हम फोर्थ डब्ल्यू विच इज वाई यहाँ पे हम फाइंड आउट करते हैं. ओके, सो नाउ आफ्टर कंप्लीटिंग और फिलिंग ऑल द फोर डब्ल्यूज कैनवस के फोर डब्ल्यूज को अगर पूरी तरीके से हम अच्छे से पता कर लेते हैं एंड वी फिल इट अप, we now know everything about the problem. सो हमारा जो पहला स्टेज है प्रॉब्लम स्कूपिंग, जिसमें हम डिफाइन कर रहे हैं प्रॉब्लम को, अगर हम 4 Ws को अच्छी तरीके से पहचान लेते हैं, then we will come to a point that now we know what the problem is and why it needs the solution. इसे solution की क्यों जरूरत है? So this was all about the first stage, which is problem scoping. Now let's go to the next stage or the second stage, which is data acquisition. Okay, so the first question is, what is data acquisition? Okay, so acquisition is derived from the word acquire. Okay, and now we know that acquire means collection. Okay, so in data acquisition we are only collecting the data. Yes, so in data acquisition we collect the data required for the project. Okay, अब हमें जो project बनाना है, we have already discussed what is the problem. Now we know what is the problem and it is worth to find a solution for that problem. So for building a model AI project or a machine learning project, we have to first gather data. Okay, or you can say, so how do we know what data or data features are required? अब इसके लिए हमें पता कैसे चलेगा कि कौन सा डेटा हमें हमें चाहिए? What are the data features required for building the project that will find a solution for this problem? So once we have identified the problem statement, we need to understand what all data is required, and one of the easiest ways to visualize is through system maps. Okay, एक सबसे अच्छा तरीका है और easiest way है डेटा फीचर्स को पहचानने का, which all data features we need for building the project. उसके लिए सबसे अच्छा जो एक वे है वो है सिस्टम मैप्स बनाना. ओके, इन योर स्क्रीन इन द राइट साइड यू कैन सी दैट देयर इज अ सिस्टम मैप. ओके, सो so this is the system map. Okay, ये एक सिस्टम मैप है, and if you look closely you can see here that this system map is regarding or related to rhino poaching. ओके, ठीक है, राइनो की जो पोचिंग होती है उसके लिए ये सिस्टम मैप बनाया गया है. ओके, एंड ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है कि सिस्टम मैप में आप सारे डेटा फीचर्स को लिख लें. ओके, सो दिस सिस्टम मैप हैज different elements. Okay, वेदर, टाइम ऑफ डे, सीजन्स, ये जितने आप नोड्स देख रहे हैं ना, ये सारे क्या हैं? ये सारे एलिमेंट्स ऑफ दिस सिस्टम मैप्स है. अगर ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होंगे हमारे सिस्टम मैप्स के लिए और उसके साइकिल के लिए, then they will be taken as the data features required for the project. Okay, eventually जब हम देख लेते हैं, when we see that this all elements are very much required for our project, now then we will say that these are the data features required for the project. Okay, so with the help of this system map, which we develop by our own, we now know what all data features are required for building a model. Here you can see, थोड़ा सा हम इसको देख लेते हैं सिस्टम मैप कैसे वर्क करता है और कैसे हम इसे बनाते हैं. Here you can see season. Yes, so if a favorable season comes, and it will automatically allow many vegetations to flourish. Yes, अच्छे सीजन में वहां का जो फ्लोरा है वो अच्छे तादाद में उगेगा. ओके, एंड दैट विल अट्रैक्ट rhino. Yes, that will attract rhino and will increase rhino present at that area. Okay, जहाँ पे अच्छी खासा ग्रीनरी हो जाती है जब कोई अच्छा सीजन होता है। Okay, now if rhino are present at a particular place, if rhino are present at a particular place, they will automatically attract poacher. Yes. So this is how a system works. Okay, now let us see the time of the day. Okay, what time of day will attract a poacher? Okay, generally poachers जो है midnight या अंधेरे में शिकार करते हैं और पोचिंग करते हैं और एनिमल्स के फर, देयर टीथ, देयर ट्रंक, ओके, उनके ऑर्गन्स, ये सारी चीजों को वो निकाल लेते हैं. So at night, when the time is right, the poacher presence is also seen. So this is how we generally make a system uh, map. Okay, and so that is how we also try to just map it down the data features which is required for our project. Okay, yes. So this is how the second stage, which is data acquisition, we gather or collect data features required for our project. यहाँ पे हम data को gather करते हैं. उसमें भी खासकर उन data features को which is most responsible for our problem, which can help to solve the problem. Okay. Next stage is data exploration, and today let us stop here. Okay. अगली क्लास में in our next session we will discuss data exploration. So thank you all for listening me patiently, and we will discuss the next stages of AI project cycle in our next session, and we will meet our next session. And till then, take good care of yourselves, and thank you all. Thank you, everyone.